Welcome to battle number 6 of week number 3 of the FnF Victory Road Draft League. This is season 2, by the way. This battle is going to be pitting King Fuse, which is PokeFuse123 on Pokemon Showdown. His team is the Visionary Tricksters versus Fingered Witch, which is Asnoir on Pokemon Showdown, with the team Nightwishiwashi. This is going to be a really interesting battle. Before we start, I'm going to say the Mega Pokemon available, which is Mega Beedrill on King Fuse's team. The Z Pokemon available are Mew with Z Any Privilege and Electros with Z Attack Privilege, both on Fingered Witch's team. So one team has the Mega available, one team has Z Power available. We'll see if the Z moves are used. The Mega will certainly appear. Let's take a look at this team. Going in, and it's going to be gimmicky and tricky, and who knows what tricks it'll have up its sleeve. Something interesting we see is that it could use Spore freely unless there is a safety goggles Pokemon, due to the fact that Fingered Witch's Pokemon, there are no grass types. There's also Cloyster, who is very frightening after a Shell Smash. Probably will see some a Focus Sash on it, maybe on Smeargle as well. Toxapex, which will be an interesting choice in burning some of those physical attackers. Then, of course, Clefable and Mega Beedrill forming that nice duo that King Fuse likes to use, as well as Tangrowth. On Fingered Witch's side, we have a lot of interesting Pokemon that have different options. Mew and Electros come to mind. They could go either physical or special, bulky if they want. And Mew can go fast, has a lot of tricks up its sleeve. There are some very powerful physical attackers, Scolipede, Scizor, and Honchkrow. And there's also a very powerful special attacker, Nidoking, who could also go physical, but it usually goes special. So I think this is going to be an interesting battle. Overall, it looks like King Fuse has a good mixture of bulk and sweeping potential, whereas Fingered Witch looks like the team is a little bit more offensive with some bulky mons as well. So this will be an exciting one for sure, and I'm curious to see how it goes, so let's jump right into it, shall we? And right now we are listening to Meteor Falls from Oras, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which was actually the theme I used in Season 1, so very, very good theme. I like this theme a lot. In terms of lead, it seems like I think we could see a Beedrill lead for that fast U-turn. Scizor or maybe Mew can be a possible lead on Fingered Witch's side. I'm wondering actually if King Fuse has a Stealth Rocks Pokemon. Smeargle, I believe, is the only Pokemon that comes to mind. I think Clefable might have Stealth Rocks, but I've never seen him use it, if it does. Alright, in comes Smeargle and MX Pet, the Mew. Smeargle, a very interesting Pokemon. Psychic is going to do big damage, 85%, but Mew is going to go for Spore. Mew is still fast asleep, and a Sticky Web is now set up on Fingered Witch's side of the field, as well as Stealth Rock, so this is a Smeargle that likes to set up hazards, but Mew is now awake, using Psychic to take down Smeargle. The score is now 5-6. Cloyster is out. It is a very threatening Pokemon, especially with Shell Smash. Mew will have to contemplate if it wants to stay in. However, Cloyster does have a very low special defense stat. Mew can take advantage of that by using a strong Psychic. Fingered Witch is going to have to be careful of those rocks and the Sticky Web. Rocks and webs hitting everything pretty hard except the Electros that levitates over the webs and doesn't get hit that hard by Stealth Rock. And in comes that Electros Miss Suck. Cloyster is going to go for the Shell Smash, though. It is poised to start a sweep, and it will be able to do some big damage to Miss Suck the Electros. This Cloyster definitely being King Fuse's big win con in this. Cloyster hits extremely hard, it probably has a sash attached, and it is very fast. So this is going to be very hard for Fingered Witch's team to deal with. And there goes the Icicle Sphere. Each hit is going to do 25% around, so Miss Suck goes down. I'm not sure which Pokemon will be able to handle this Cloyster. Having a very high defense stat, even a Bullet Punch from Scizor may not be enough. It probably won't be enough to take down Cloyster unless there's like circumstances, maybe Choice Band or something. I'm not sure. In comes MX Pet the Mew. Mew is going to get caught in that sticky web. And Icicle Sphere is going to do about 20% each hit. That's enough to take down Mew in one attack. Cloyster is a menace. An absolute menace if not handled. I think Scizor might be able to take a hit from Cloyster, but it's risky. But at this point, Fingered Witch does not have a lot of Pokemon that will be able to take on Cloyster. And the Rock Blast actually misses. Mr. Ride is going to go for the Substitute, but Substitute is not... It's not a very good move versus Cloyster. Because Cloyster has Skill Link, it can hit the Substitute and then continue to hit past the Substitute, taking out Mr. Ride, even with the Substitute up. And that's exactly what we're going to see here. Rock Blast is going to hit the Substitute and then continue hitting past the Substitute. In comes Miss Peck, the Honchkrow, shiny Honchkrow as well. Honchkrow going for that Sucker Punch. It does big damage, but the Icicle Sphere is going to take it down. Cloyster's now at 45%. Mr. Pincher, the Scizor, is going to come out. It's likely we'll see a Bullet Punch coming from Scizor. Will it be enough to take down Cloyster? It is enough, and down goes Cloyster, the absolute menace of this battle. Fingered Witch has 2 Pokemon left, and they are... Fingered Witch has 2 Pokemon left, and King Fuse has 4 Pokemon left. These Pokemon that King Fuse has are pretty bulky for the most part, minus Mega Beedrill, but Fingered Witch does still have a chance to take him down, especially with Scizor being there. Scizor will be able to one-hit KO Mega Beedrill, perhaps, with Bullet Punch, but Beedrill certainly can't harm it. Scizor actually does a lot of damage to all of the Pokemon left except Toxapex on King Fuse's team. Nidoking also can do some big damage to all of them, so this fight, oh my gosh, this fight, is far from over. In comes Toxapex. Toxapex does have the ability to wall Scizor and potentially burn it with Scald. A good move might be to switch to Nidoking for that Earth Power. If Mr. Pincher the Scizor can set up a Swords Dance or switch out into Nidoking, that could be a good move versus this Toxapex. Scizor is going to go for the Bullet Punch. It's a critical hit, but it doesn't do that much. Scald hits, it's going to burn. Very unfortunate for Scizor. Definitely did not want to get burned. And a knockoff is going to get rid of that Black Sludge from Toxapex. Mr. Pincher is going to be hit by another Scald. It's going to do 21%. Scizor was a good answer to Mega Beedrill and Clefable with its Stab Bullet Punch. Nidoking still can put in work, but it's going to take a lot, especially considering Sticky Webs are up. If Scizor gets Roost, it could actually wait out this a little bit. Sorry, if Scizor has Roost. And Toxapex is going to deal more damage with that Scald. It's going to be up to Nidoking, it looks like, after this turn with Mr. Pinscher. And a Bullet Punch is going to do 7% more, but Toxapex is going to recover that off. Bullet Punch just doing chip damage at this point. Down goes Mr. Pinscher with a Scald. And Mr. Stab Nidoking is the last hope for Fingered Witch's team. Will we see an Earth Power versus Toxapex? I'm not sure if Earth Power will be able to one-hit KO. I think it does depend on the investment that the Toxapex has. Toxapex being a very sturdy Pokemon. Mr. Stab is definitely not going to like that speed drop from the Sticky Webs, but it still does have immense firepower from its special attack stat. The big question is, will Toxapex stay in to go for the Scald? Earth Power going to do some really big damage. Toxapex does stay in and go for the Scald. It's going to do 42%. Toxapex is hanging on by a thread. And Earth Power is going to take down Toxapex. But Mr. Stab, the Nidoking, still has a lot of work to put in. Tangrowth is going to come out. Will we see Tangrowth go for an Earthquake? One Sludge Wave from Mr. Stab, maybe enough to take down Tangrowth too. The question is, will Tangrowth take it down before Mr. Stab can fight back? The reduced speed is definitely not going to work in Nidoking's favor. Otherwise, this matchup would be really good for Nidoking. And actually, Flamethrower is going to hit. It's a critical hit. It does 77%. Big damage, but the Earthquake is going to take down Nidoking, and that is the game. King Fuse and the Visionary Tricksters win this battle with a 3-0 victory over Fingered Witch's team, which is Nightwishiwashi. This was the 6th battle of week number 3. Really intense. This battle is a testament to Cloyster. I mean, Cloyster is an absolute menace once it sets up a Shell Smash. If it has a Focus Sash attached, even more of a menace. And yeah, really intense stuff there. So, really good match. And we still have 2 more matches of week 3 coming up, so stay tuned for those. This is Noel of Sun and Friendly, and I'll see you then.